Welcome back. You're listening to Norma Stanley on Nella-Joi Nation, the nation's #1 radio show, sharing important news and information on and about the disability community. And we've been speaking with Miss Myrna Clayton, who is the executive director and founder of an organization called Able To, that works to bring awareness and accessibility and opportunities to performing artists with disabilities. And thank you for being on the show, Myrna, and sharing such great information. And you have some exciting things that you're putting in place for 2020. And one of those things is an inclusive choir. Tell us about that.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. This is our effort at mainstreaming because we get so much pushback with what we do because we are not quote unquote mainstreaming, and that's a whole nother conversation. But we are forming an inclusive choir that includes singers, and we want you to be good singers, but singers with and without disabilities. We are, because of the current situation in terms of the COVID-19, we don't yet have a location, but we have a date, and we're wanting to be flexible around that date too. But we're wanting people to reach out to us to say, hey, I want to be a part, so that when we do have our first rehearsal, we're ready, because our conductor is William Green. He's ready. I'm ready. We just need a location, and we've been joking about, hey, we'll be outside and be social distanced apart. We'll take our stuff in a parking lot and do that. But William Green is an amazing keyboardist. He's a jazz performer and a choir director for years of church choirs. So he's very accustomed and very, very good at, directing and giving parts and things like that. And so he and I have been friends for a number of years. And so when I kind of put it out there into the world of my interest, he along with others expressed interest, and so I reached out to him. And he said yes, and so he's pretty excited about it, and I'm so very happy that he is, because that gives me a level of comfort that I know that it's going to be a great choir, and it's not just going to be like for me, when I say choir, I either think of church choir or school choir in terms of really formal things, and that's not what we're going to be doing. We're going to be singing across genres, and so in addition to gospel, we're going to be doing Broadway songs. Anything that's inspirational. Inspiring are the types of songs that we want to be able to do. It'll just be done in a chorus style. And so I've given him about 20 songs to listen to select the first 3 that we learn to do. We're going to be, we're hoping to have our kickoff concert in July in celebration of the 30th anniversary of ADA being signed into law. And then also another time the choir will be singing will be at our awards gala, which we're planning for October of this year. We had to postpone it due to the circumstances. And so we're having the awards gala in October. So please look out for more information about that. We have 4 ways to reach us and to learn more about us. We're on Twitter, and so we're at Able To Nonprofit, and Able is spelled ABEL, like in the Bible. And that name comes from the fact that we see ourselves as the second Abel. His sacrifice was acceptable to the Lord. And so the name, when you hear it, you think the functional, they're able to. When you see the spelling, you understand, okay, this means something more than that alone. And so it's Able To Nonprofit. It's at Able To Nonprofit is what the link is on most social media. On Facebook, it's Able To Inc., and that's Able To INC. We have a website, which is able2.org, and it can reach us at able2nonprofit@gmail. That will get to us. And so those 4 are ways to reach us through technology. I mean, so that would be awesome. We also have a phone number, and we just ask you to leave a message there, and that's 404-482-2209. Again, 404-482-2209. And so those are the ways to get in touch with us from a social media standpoint. We'd love to have you follow us. We want to hear about performing artists and that have a disability. I was just reading about real quick because I want to talk about two artists that we've just been so pleased with last year on the national level, and that's Cody Lee, who won America's Got Talent, and Ali Stroker, who won a Tony for her performance on Broadway, Best Supporting Actress. And I was watching a YouTube video about her, and she's been a wheelchair user since she was a little girl, and she discovered theater as a way of performing because she said she didn't like people looking at her because she didn't want people feeling bad for her. She says, but being able to perform, it empowered her, and people were admiring her ability to perform, and so she liked that. And so her whole thing was, I can play a character other than myself. I can be me, but sometimes it's real difficult to be me, is what she said. And so to be able to play another character, even in your mind at school, if you happen to be at school, I'm gonna pretend to be somebody else today because y'all are getting on my nerves. I mean, we do that. Everybody can do that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Change
I
hats.
have to do that when I'm turning into Nella-Joi the singer. Totally different.
There you go.
Everything else. So yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And so she talks about that. And so that's what it is when it comes to performing and having the opportunity and the platform to really showcase your ability. And that's what Able To is all about. We believe that everybody deserves a stage. That's our slogan. Everybody deserves a stage. And and so we have showability as well. And that's one of our stable events. We're building a database of artists with disabilities because we're wanting to be able to book artists. We're talking about employment. We're wanting to book artists for shows. People are looking for entertainers within the community, and they're willing to pay. And so it's a matter of, hey, if we know that you have the talent, we will certainly, promote you and put you out there so that people can book you for your shows. I'd say that there are three different types of artists that we've come across and which makes it difficult for us to find performing artists with disabilities. One, persons with disabilities who are very talented, but they don't want to come into the spotlight because, as Ali talked about, they don't want people feeling bad about them, and so they don't want to come on stage. Two, those people who are very talented, but they don't associate with their disability, meaning you won't know that they have a disability because they don't promote it, they don't talk about it. And then thirdly, parents. Parents hinder us a lot. There are not a lot of parents like you, Norma, who allow their children to be on stage. They would rather keep them hidden or, for either the child's quote unquote safety or for their own personal ego, the parent's ego. I mean, that's being just very, very candid. That, parents, are a blessing and a curse for a child with a disability because they're, and so it's an interesting place to be, because we're on the leading edge of this, and we're passionate about it.
Absolutely. In some cases, they think they're protecting their children, but they actually are not because they're keeping them from being involved in a part of society as a whole. So it's a discussion that has to be, like you said, it's an educational process. It's a enlightenment process. It's an empowerment process, and Able To, is one organization that's trying to, jump in there and make a difference. So,
can I put one little pin in there? Because that's a point about mainstreaming too. You have to know your child. You have to know what your child is able to do. And yes, it's about pushing your child and wanting them to do some things. But some children are not able to mainstream. And and so you have to really know what's possible for your child. And so mainstreaming is a great thing, but it's not for everybody. Just like, many things are not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. And I'm sorry at the end of our show. So thank you so much for being on Nella-Joi Nation and sharing such incredible
I could go on and on and on.
I know, and we both can. I just know that it's just one of those things. But we appreciate you being on the show, and thank you for sharing your information and how people get in touch with you. And we look forward to having you on the show again. And again, you're listening to Nella-Joi Nation. I'm Norma Stanley. We just had an amazing guest, Ms. Myrna Clayton, who is founder and executive director with Able To nonprofit. And if you guys are interested in being a part of that choir, please get in touch with her at the information she shared earlier. And we look forward to you guys joining us on our show next week at Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to be bringing to you every week some amazing people like Myrna and some of the previous guests we've had on the show. And also be aware that, I too am a singer, and my CD, Nella-Joi Next Chapter, is available, and $1 from every CD that is sold goes to nonprofits like Able To. So we want to hopefully you will go out and buy our CD that you can find on iTunes and Spotify and various organizations, any place you find music, you can find my CD. So thank you so much for being on the show and listening to Miss Myrna Clayton and this wonderful conversation we've had about being differently abled and being, musically inclined and having opportunities, because there are opportunities out there. And Able To, this particular organization, wants to help performing artists with talent to get those opportunities. So thank you for being a part of Nella-Joi Nation this week, and we look forward to talking with you next week. Bye-bye. Bye.